Expansion. Today we are going to discuss about expansion as a method of gaining space. The correction of transverse maxillary deficiency is an important component of orthodontic treatment plan. Expansion of palate was first achieved by Emerson C. Angle in 1860. Based on tissue involved, expansion can be classified as dental, skeletal, and passive. Dental or orthodontic expansion. It is dentoalveolar in nature, producing primarily buccal tipping of crowns and lingual tipping of the roots. The buccal tipping of the crowns and lingual tipping of the roots produced by removable expansion plates and conventional fixed appliances. Coming to the skeletal or orthopedic expansion, it is the separation of mid-palatal sutures and also has an effect on the circumzygomatic and circummaxillary sutures produced by rapid maxillary expansion. Passive expansion. It is produced by shielding the buccal and labial muscles. It is not produced by extrinsic forces, but it's a result of intrinsic forces such as produced by the tongue. Example, the Frankwell 2 appliance and lip bumper. Based on the rate of movement, the expansion can be classified as rapid and slow. Rapid maxillary expansion is also called rapid palatal expansion or split palate. It's a skeletal type of expansion that involves the separation of the mid-palatal suture and movement of the maxillary shelves away from each other. The slow expansion is termed as dentoalveolar expansion, although some skeletal changes can be observed. Now we will know what are the indications of rapid maxillary expansion. Number 1, posterior crossbite. The maxillary deficiency associated with undersized or narrow maxilla, then it is indicated. Or in maxillary deficiency that is characterized by normal maxilla but oversized mandible. Number 2 is class 3 malocclusion, either of dental or skeletal origin. The improvement is seen in both anterior as well as posterior crossbites. Number 3 is cleft palate patients. The cleft palate patients with collapsed maxillary arch may benefit from RME. Number 4 is face mask therapy. To facilitate protraction of maxilla, RME is used along with the face mask to loosen the maxillary sutural attachments. Medical indications that includes nasal stenosis, poor nasal airway, septal deformities, and deviated nasal septum. By using rapid maxillary expansion in all these cases, there will be a lot of improvement. Selected arch length problems. Patients with good skeletal pattern in whom extraction could lead to flattening of the profile. In these cases, we can think of expansion. Now we will know about what are the effects of RME. Number 1 is maxillary skeletal effect. The effect of RME on the maxillary skeletal is the mid opening of the mid palatal suture is fan shaped or triangular shaped with maximum opening in the incisor region and gradually diminishing towards the posterior part of the palate. The amount of expansion achieved is an increase in maxillary width of up to 10 mm can be achieved by RME. The rate of expansion is 0.2 to 0.5 mm per day. What is the effect on alveolar bone? The alveolar bone is resilient, therefore the area adjacent to the anchor teeth bends slightly. The effect on maxillary anterior teeth is the midline spacing between two maxillary central incisors is the most reliable clinical evidence of the maxillary separation. It's about half the distance of screw opened. By 3 to 5 months, the midline closes as a result of the transeptal fiber traction. What is the effect on maxillary posterior teeth? They are used as anchors. They exhibit buccal tipping and extrusion to a limited extent. What is the effect on mandible? We are treating the maxilla, but it does have an effect on the mandible. The mandible moves downward and backward. You see downward and backward rotation of the mandible with slight increase in the mandibular plane angle. This is due to extrusion and buccal tipping of the maxillary molars. The effect on adjacent cranial bone and sutures is, along with the mid-palatal suture and those bones articulating the maxilla, it is also known to have far-reaching effects on bones of cranium like parietal and occipital. The effect on nasal cavity. Outer walls of the nasal cavity moves apart, increasing the intranasal space. It is maximum in the inferior and anterior region and gradually decreased towards the superior and posterior aspect. Expansion appliances. There are two types of appliances. One is the removable appliance, the second one is fixed appliance. In the fixed appliance, it can be tooth bone and tooth tissue bone. In the removable appliances, although removable appliance splits the sutures, it is unpredictable and the reliability of this appliance producing skeletal expansion is highly questionable. It is advised to use a removable appliance during deciduous or early mixed dentition to produce appreciable skeletal effects. It consists of split plate with a midline screw retainer using clasps on the posterior teeth. The drawback of this appliance is need for patient cooperation and difficulty in retaining the plate inside the mouth. Fixed appliances. The fixed appliances are more reliable and found to produce consistent skeletal effects. The tooth and tissue bone appliances are Dirichlet type and Haas type. The tooth bone appliances are Isaacson type and Hyrax type. Hyrax means hygienic rapid expander. Hyrax can be banded or bonded type. The banded Hyrax appliance, the bands are on first premolar and molars with the arms of the expansion screw soldered onto the bands. The advantage is the oral hygiene is facilitated due to limited gingival coverage, but the drawback is the need for more chairside time and precise wire bending and soldering. The bonded Hyrax appliance, the acrylic cap splint of 1 to 2 mm thickness covering the posterior teeth of either side is used. The arms of the Hyrax appliance are attached to the cap splint on either side. It requires limited chairside time and buccal capping is thought to limit the extrusion of the molars during treatment. Therefore, it improves the overbite control. Now we will see the activation schedule of these appliances. Activation schedule given by TIMS is the patients up to 15 years of age, we do a 90-degree rotation in the morning and evening, and patients over 15 years we do a rotation of 45-degree activation 4 times a day. The activation schedule given by Zimring and Isaacson is in growing patients 2 turns per day for 4 to 5 days followed by 1 turn per day until the desired expansion is achieved. In non-growing adults 2 turns per day for 2 days followed by 1 turn per day for next 5 to 7 days. How do we evaluate the treatment of the rapid maxillary expansion? That is, treatment evaluation during rapid maxillary expansion is: the appearance of midline diastema is the most noticeable feature during RME. The maxillary occlusal radiograph and PA cephalogram are more reliable in estimating the amount of maxillary expansion. Retention following RME. At least 3 to 6 months is the recommended duration of retention. The RME appliance screw is immobilized using cold cure acrylic and used for retention. Even a fixed TPA can be used. What are the contraindications of RME? The single tooth crossbite, uncooperative patients, as RME requires frequent activation and maintenance of good oral hygiene. It is not done post ossification of mid-parietal suture unless accompanied by surgery. It is not advisable in vertical growers with steep mandibular plane angle. It should not be done in periodontally compromised cases and in cases with severe anterior-posterior discrepancies and skeletal asymmetries. It is not advised. Coming to the slow expansion. Slow expansion, also called as dentoalveolar expansion, where maxillary arch is expanded at a rate of 0.5 to 1 millimeter per week. The force generated is 2 to 4 pounds. In the rapid maxillary expansion, it is 10 to 20 pounds. Please remember, it is 2 to 4 pounds in slow expansion and 10 to 20 pounds in rapid expansion. The treatment is completed in 2 to 5 months in slow expansion, whereas in rapid expansion it completes in 1 to 2 weeks. The appliances used for slow expansion are removable appliance incorporated with jack screws, the coffin spring, the cord helix. The arch expansion using fixed appliances. The expansion with archways. The mild expansion can be brought about by using expanded archways. The cord helix or a TPA can be used along with fixed appliances. Auxiliary arch. The expansion arches are jockey arches made of 1925-inch rectangular stainless steel or 1 to 1.13 mm large round stainless steel wires can be used. They produce buccal tipping of the molars and also used to retain the expansion achieved by other appliances. So under the expansion, we studied about the removable appliances, the fixed appliances. We studied about rapid expansion and slow expansion, and also we studied about the indications and contraindications of expansion. Keep watching these videos on YouTube and please subscribe to my channel for further updates about orthodontics and orthodontic classes.